Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Get lost in your creativity with Skillshare, the online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. Whether you're looking to improve your video or photography skills, get better at drawing, or take your first step into 3D modeling for 3D printing, you'll find it here. I've always been working on improving my film and photo, so the short but effective iPhone photography course by Dale McManus had some great yet simple tips to take some awesome Instagram-ready photos using only your phone. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, always launching new premium classes, and there's never any ads, so you can stay focused on what you're learning. Whether you're a dabbler or a pro, a hobbyist or a master, there's classes for every level. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today. Hey, what is up everyone? Today I'm taking a look at the high-grade Gundam Astray red frame with the flight unit. So once again, we're going back in time a little bit with this high grade right here, all the way back to 2013. Not that long ago really, but it feels like those 8 years have flown by. I feel like this was just a new release a couple of years ago, not 8 years ago. But before we actually get into the finished model kit that is the Gundam Astray red frame with the flight unit, first off let's talk a little bit about the build. So honestly, I didn't know what to expect getting into this. I know around the 2013 and before mark, when it came to SEED kits, there was a lot of changes. From that Perfect Strike Gundam I unboxed so long ago, never did a review of because it was so bad, to the Revive Strike that came out afterwards, and a lot of awesome, and I mean insanely awesome SEED kits that have come out since, like the high-grade Infinite Justice and the absolutely ridiculously awesome high-grade Destiny. Now this right here is a very good kit. The only thing it really drops the ball on is some color accuracy. There's a whole lot of stickers in here, and the big giant Mecha Katana, which is the Gundam Astray, is just in grey plastic, which is... When it comes to the red frame, it's the centerpiece of the whole thing. So instead of using the stickers in this build, I just went one level up and grabbed some Gundam markers. Well, what can I say, the red frame high grade is on the box, so I had to. Besides that though, this is a very nice build. The red sections for the frame are undergated for the most part, so I assume we got some plated or colored kits afterwards. But it also means you can paint the frame yourself on the runners and not really worry too much about nubs. But yeah, besides some color inaccuracies, it was a very nice build, and I enjoyed it a lot. Let's check it out. So jumping right on into the overview of absolutely everything that comes in the box, and that of course is the Astray itself, the flight unit. As for the equipment, we've got a shield, beam rifle, pair of beam sabers, the Gundam Astray, the scabbard for putting that into, the Baku head, a pair of fists, and a couple of adapters. Now let's check it all out. So jumping right on into the aesthetics with the full 360-degree spin with the art on the right as per usual. And all I can say is I am really impressed, a lot more than I thought I would be with this particular high grade. Sure, it may not be as thick as the art there on the right, the only real Astray model kit that is the high resolution, but this right here looks so good. I will mention I did panel line a lot of it, well, especially on the front, and I did paint a couple of bits I'll mention in a minute. But besides that, I didn't really do a whole lot. It is straight built for the most part. Again, this looks phenomenal. All of those nice angles and curves we love about the Astray, as well as all the detail on the red frame inside of it, it's just all where it needs to be. There's not really much else I need to say. As for the stickers, the only ones I did use are up on the head for the cameras and the eyes as well. But besides that, once again, really nice. Let's get in a little bit closer to check out some of the details. So anyway, jumping in a little bit closer, and like I said, this thing is phenomenal looking. I am once again super surprised. The reason for that is, and you may or may not know this, but the high-grade SEED line was discontinued pretty much after this came out. There was a few other releases, but I think 2013 is when Bandai took the axe and chopped this line forever. Now any SEED releases come out under the standard high-grade line, the same line that the high-grade Universal Century kits come out under. So when it comes to the high-grade SEED line, there's a lot of older kits and a lot of repackaged older kits. This is one of the ones that is not repackaged. This is pretty much new for this kit right here. So jumping in a little bit closer to check out the detail, and pretty much everything that you want to see is here. The muzzle, the face, the V-fin, everything is so sharp. Also, compared to the likes of the Master Grade and the Real Grade, that is one hell of a V-fin there. That is massive. The rest of the detailing on here looks phenomenal, and all this kit is asking for is a little bit of panel lining and some paint. And speaking of the paint, this is a kit that really needs it. Just check out all of those stickers. This is ridiculous. So yeah, I'm not going to go through every single one of these stickers because there are so many, but there is a little bit of good news within all of this color inaccuracy hell. And basically that is very little of these go on the actual mobile suit itself, so I have used the ones on the head like I've mentioned earlier on, which is just for stickers. Besides that, it's just the front and the back of the arms. That is pretty much it. The rest of the stickers then are for the accessories, so the whites of the wings, and a lot of the scabbard, and the sword. Yeah, so basically the accessories. The mobile suit itself got past most of the issues, so the biggest problem area on this kit is the upper arms. These parts, and this part, and this part, these were all meant to be in white, so I only did paint one of these, just because I was kind of going through it quite quickly, which is kind of weird because I ended up painting the knuckles too, which isn't so quick. But yeah, I just grabbed a white Gundam marker, which takes a lot of coats to actually get a nice finish, and even at that, you're probably not going to get a nice finish. Well, yeah, I used that. But besides that, this thing is beautiful. We also have some decals as well. I used one of them up on the left-hand shoulder. As for a size comparison, there it is side by side with the Revive Oryx 78-2. There it is side by side with its real grade counterpart. A little bit of a zoom in because these are quite different. The feet, the shape of the legs, the width of the arms, the shoulders, the head, the V-fin. There's a lot of differences. And there it is finally side by side with the Master Grade Red Frame Kai. So jumping right on back to the start now and into the accessories once again. So there's everything that it comes with. So let's check it all out one by one. As for hands, first off in here we've got these widespread open hands. Of course the knuckles aren't painted, the hands themselves are just in red, the backs of the hands in white. We also have a pair of fists in here, and swapping these is the simple, age-old, ball joint pull and push back in again. So next up in here we've got a pair of beam sabers, and as is the case with the red frame, these are really nice for essentially standard beam sabers. They're nice and broad is all I can say, almost like instead of being just a square, they're a little bit elongated. The same goes with the blades. These are the flat beams that we see a lot of time with age kits, as well as some 00 kits. And when these are not in use, you can pop out the beams as usual and pop them up on the backpack for storage, just like this, what you're seeing right now. So next up in here we have the flight unit. Now for the most part the color accuracy on this is quite good. We've got the black plastic, red plastic, and the light grey plastic. The only thing that is not color accurate on this, and that you do need the included stickers for, are the white sections. Now I did use a Gundam marker, the white one I mentioned earlier on, which isn't the greatest, but it got the job done. I might have been better off using the stickers, honestly. Attaching on the flight unit is actually super simple. All you have to do is pop out this backpack and it slides down like so. Simple, seamless, and a nice little mechanism. Then you just stick the flight unit into the hole that backpack was attached into. Nothing has to come off, it just all stays on there. Pretty cool. That is what it looks like attached, and once again, besides the white on the rear of the wings, this looks really good. Next up in here we've got the beam rifle. This is pretty simple, all in the one color. We've got a green sticker for the lens and a side-to-side moving handle. As for attaching this, it's the usual routine of popping off the hand, popping off the back of the hand, popping the beam rifle into the hand, and then on with the back of the hand again. Simple. Next up in here, we've got the shield, once again in the same colors as the mobile suit itself, looking really good, I might add. This attaches on in the usual way, which is popping into the peg hole on the back of the forearm. That is what it looks like attached, and we do have two choices as usual. That is the side of the forearm, or you can pop it off and attach it round back, depending on what your posing preferences are at the time. There it is on the back of the arm. When the equipment is not in use, we've got this handy dandy little adapter which you can plug into the shield like so. The handle of the beam rifle slots into that then, and all of which can be stored round back on the flight unit. Pretty cool. Next up in here we've got the Baku head, and as that suggests, this is the head of a Baku. This is all in the one shade of grey. We do have two stickers because of the color inaccuracies up front. One is for a main camera in the forehead, the other one is for on the eyes. There's a bit of a mighty seam up the middle of this, and it has two standard beams coming from its mouth section. To attach this, it's quite simple. You just attach this little handle bit into the hand of the Astray, then slot the Baku head over the fist like this. As for storage options, there aren't any, so when it's not in use, back in the box. So now moving on to the last couple of accessories, which of course is the Gerbera straight katana, as well as the scabbard for holding it in. Now, I will mention I did paint both of these. I used Gundam markers to do this. That is a metallic gold on both of them, a metallic red on both of them, and as for the blade on the katana, I did use the very awesome Gundam marker EX Gundam Mecha Silver, as in the chrome plate Gundam marker. So this turned out really well. It would have turned out a little bit better if I didn't do what I usually do and touch it too early. But on the whole, these worked out great. But yeah, color accuracy wise, the katana is just plain old grey plastic out of the box, which really isn't all that awesome, and the scabbard is just in pure white. So I had to paint both of them, and yeah, I totally forgot to paint the red on the end of the scabbard as well as some of the gold around on the other side. I'll get to that another time. But there are stickers included for all of this if you'd prefer to do so. Also, I'm not going to stick the katana into the scabbard because more than likely it will scratch up the paint, so it's staying out. But it does go in there. So now moving on to the articulation, and when it comes to the solidness of this kit, this is rock solid. Once again, a very impressive kit for something that is from the SEED line. At the neck, it's the standard polycap double ball joint, but the bottom joint doesn't do anything, so it's just a ball joint up top that you get anything out of. At the shoulder, there's quite a lot going on. We do have a little bit of forward and back pivot up at the shoulder. There is the arm all the way up, and we've got also some down and up inside the shoulder itself. This is not your standard polycap ball and socket shoulder. It's a little different. So there's the arm all the way down, all the way up again, and finally there's that full 360 spin. The shoulder armor can move independently to the arm. We've got that full 360 spin at the upper arm, a very nice double jointed elbow bend. The wrist right here is your standard ball and socket. We've got a tiny little ab crunch, and we do have the full spin at the waist as well, but sometimes it might get caught in the armor. Just lift it up a bit, you get a bit more. The only skirting armor that moves on the high-grade red frame is the side skirting armor. That has a little bit of rotation and up and down. Moving down to the legs, and we do have a bit of a mechanism inside the hips which allows them to rock side to side like so. There is the kick all the way up to the front, so pretty good. All the way out to the back, a little bit blocked, and there's the full splits, no problem. We do have the full spin at the upper leg, but the armor does block it from happening, so that does mean there is a lot of rotation here. It just can't spin all the way around with the armor on. Down at the knee now, we've got a very nice double jointed bend, but I will mention if you do hyper bend this, every single time I've hyper bent it, as in a little past how far you should go, when I straighten it out, it explodes like this. So be careful when bending it that you don't bend it too far back. This starts to slide out of place and then fall apart on you when you straighten it. So finally now down to the ankles, and trying that foot on the ground for the functional movement. So there it is all the way front to back, which is really good, and there it is all the way side to side, which is even better. So this is one of those kits that can really keep its feet on the ground, even in dramatic widespread poses. So although the articulation on this may not be as fancy as some more contemporary SEED counterparts, this is still quite good and you can eke out some great poses. That on top of its solid build, besides the exploding knees if you push too far, means this kit does have the articulation befitting a samurai. So anyway, that right there is it for the review, and this one is a hard one to rank for certain reasons, and that is the actual mobile suit itself is fantastic, whereas the accessories have dropped the ball a little bit, especially in regards to color accuracy. So I would say this is a kit that is pretty much a gold tier kit for the mobile suit itself, but a little bit almost towards the bronze tier aspects when it comes to the accessories. The backpack has some pretty bad color inaccuracies, which is passable, but what Bandai did with the sword and the sheath is unforgivable. So that does mean this, as a whole, is a silver tier model kit box. I loved it. I absolutely adored it. I thought I was going to straight build this for the video, but I liked it so much, I just had to paint some of the aspects to fix what this kit can't do on its own. It looks phenomenal. This is the red frame. It's simple, it's solid, it's not too over the top looking like the real grade is. The real grade looks fantastic, but if you want something that looks simple and anime-like and solid to boot, that's this right here. I loved it, and I think you would too. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and helping out the channel. And as always, I will see you next time. As always, this video right here would not have been possible without each and every one of you guys who watches my videos, including those of you who help out on the channel memberships and over on Patreon, including Craig Jerry, Van Fawn, Sean T, Mr. Winter, Lauren C. Hack, Joseph Kuklock, Global Frequency Studios, Forsetti, Caleb Engelhart, and Gaikotsu Official.